Returning home to see family on Christmas and the holidays can be difficult because if you've been outside of that bubble or that sort of ecosystem that has its own gravitational vortex, you feel like people kind of only acknowledge you in the family system when you're kind of reading off the script or doing that tap dance or being this sort of one-dimensional figure. And especially if you are like the generational curse breaker of the family, the one who was always speaking up, the one who was always the oppositional force in the family, you feel like there's this thing where they acknowledge you, but it's like you're just a static character in the play in their mind. And there's this feeling that they'll never really see other parts of you. They'll never be able to hear you or support you or hold that space for you in a deeper emotional way. So being home with family on Christmas can be sad because it's like, in one sense, when you're going back home and you've been outside the bubble, you've been on your hero's journey, you've been out in the world. And if you're one of the only ones that really left the bubble, left that state or city, you feel alienated because they can't really relate to you. They can't relate to the trials you've been through. They can't relate to like having to support yourself all alone and be your own best friend to get yourself through those difficulties and those hard times. So it's painful to realize that your family an aspect of you may always be invisible to them. They may never be able to hold that space for you in a deeper way. But if you accept that it made you who you are, and that was a story, that was a movie, that was a character you played for a while, but then you stepped out of it. And a lot of people in that world, in that family dynamic, maybe there's trauma, maybe there's dysfunction that has its own like pull, disrespect and patterns that were passed down. You realize they may never change in that way. They may never be able to see you, but you accept that and you realize, hey, it is what it is. Sometimes it's not always easy because being around the family reminds you of how much you had to be there for yourself, or they tried to silence you, tried to doubt you, you being the oppositional force or calling them out or, pointing out the dysfunction. You were made to feel insane. So sometimes you feel like, I don't really want to play along with that. I don't want to play along with that sort of synchronized blindness that everyone has, this blindness. It's like this vortex of childishness where like no one grows up within the family. So it can feel alienating if you were the one that grew up, you went out on your adventures, you exposed yourself to different things, you healed, you were honest with yourself, you didn't escape into addictions, you didn't escape into relationship or distraction and those types of things. So